Education and the Hope Scholarship. Over the last several years, we've seen flattening lottery revenues to pay for the scholarship, but ever-growing tuition costs for the recipients. And last year, there was a major overhaul of the scholarship to tie the amount awarded to students to what the revenues will allow for. Is that a sufficient fix in your minds? Is there anything else the legislature should go back and do in addition to that? And along the way, if you'll mention whether you think the state should consider other forms of gambling to bring in more revenue. And I believe it's Josh's turn to go first.
This is an area where I think Governor Deal's shown some real leadership, both in the bill last year and the work that continues now. I think there are a couple things we can do. Number one, to shore up the expense side and make sure the money that's flowing out of Hope doesn't start to exceed the revenue. And when I was with Governor Perdue, we pushed what was called the Hope Chest Amendment. It was a constitutional amendment that made sure that Hope dollars went solely to pre-K and to tuition and fees at higher ed. Too often, money had been used for what was called technology, and that meant buying computers that weren't absolutely necessary in K-12. I would support a Hope Chest Amendment. It will take a constitutional amendment to lock it up, and I'll support that. And if we're elected in the Senate, I think we'll pass it. In terms of what has been proposed in the State Senate this year, I do not support limiting Hope dollars based on income. I think that one of the great things about Hope is it has kept people in the state of Georgia. I want to continue to do that. It has improved every school in the state of Georgia. It's been one of our best plans. And on terms of expanding for other gambling, I think the governor's made clear he's not supportive of that. So what I would rather do is find other ways to increase revenue for Hope and not focus on that one and spend time working on something we know we can get passed and, as importantly, that can get signed.
Folks, you know, I keep telling you, I come to you as the businessman perspective. And for me, the Hope Scholarship is about performance. We know that it's a 3.0 is the guideline right now. That's the scale. But you know, we're towards the bottom as a state in education. So I believe that we need to absolutely raise the bar and make it maybe 3.2 or 3.5. You know, make the standards more difficult, because so it's not geared on a person's how wealthy a person's parents are. For me, I'm a self-made guy, and I went to private school, or excuse me, I went to public school. So it's not about someone's race or if their mother and father has money or not. So it's really about performance. We've got to fix the performance of the schools or of the scholarship program, and the way to do it is to raise the level. You raise it. You don't dumb it down, and that's what's happened in this economy right now, the way we are. So.
On the revenue side of the ledger, I'm not for gambling to increase revenues. On the expense side, though, I think that there's things that we can do with tuition across the board of regents in lowering tuitions, or at least figuring out ways to understand where all this money is going. Why are tuitions rising faster than inflation and demand and all these kinds of the basic economic indicators? And so we can help control the cost. And then lastly, I would agree with bumping up the standard, because it is such an important scholarship, and I don't think it should be means tested. It should be merit based, and so I agree with a 3.2 bump up on the standard, so that we're actually raising the bar for our children, while not telling folks that have been successful that their child's merit doesn't count.
Okay, let's